reason why I chose this major is partially because I'm originally from Guatemala. My dad has a clothing manufacturing industry, so I basically grew up next to it and just learning all about it, which kind of made me really want to pursue a career in this path also. So my life basically revolves around like 4-hour classes, just with these. And the end results, this was actually a project that I worked on for about a month, and I would spend like 4 days a week, just every night at the human ecology department, and I would just live there all the time. And despite, I really like doing this kind of stuff. I really like, spending nights there and kind of showing my creativity through my work. Another passion that I have are children. I thought this was just like a phase I was going through. I think all girls have this phase where we all go like crazy about kids. And like, we always want one, and I really thought it was a phase. I thought it was just this kind of thing I was going through. But as I grew older, I started tutoring a lot of these kids. I started babysitting a lot of like 5-year-olds and 6-year-olds, and it kind of made me realize that I really, really love them. And that kind of made me work part-time at a kindergarten, and I thought, why not pursue a career that is related to children? Okay. My partner and I came up with the career as a designer for a children's clothing line. And I had actually thought about this career path before. I had considered it multiple times, but the problem is that there's always so much you can do in a piece of clothing that's like this big. And also you have to think about the type of fabric, like the limitations are so much because a baby's skin is really soft and sensitive, so you can't use some types of fabrics. You have to use a particular sewing type of sewing. So as an art student, the purpose of being an art student, you really want to express your ideas into your work, but designing baby clothes, that really sets many limitations. So I had actually given up this career path a really long time ago. But I don't know if this happens to you guys, it always happens to me. But whenever I walk past something like this, I always find the need to squeal. I always go like, ah! I always have to go in, and I always have to go and look around. Like my face always turns like, I always have to look around. So I actually concluded that this is what I want to do. Oops. This is what I want to do. So I thought about, what exactly is fashion designing? Like many people think it's just designing, but it's actually the entire process of, giving out your ideas, designing them, picking out the fabric, the type of yarn you're going to use, how you're going to design it, who's going to make it, who's going to buy it. So it has so many different procedures that when I actually thought about the tasks and responsibilities, rather than having, creativity, of course it's really important, but rather than being good at designing, two things that I really thought were important were keeping deadlines and teamwork. Fashion designers, they work full-time or part-time, but the thing with designing is that it's not a regular scheduled job. You don't wake up at 9, go to work, and finish at 6. It's more like whenever there's a deadline due, you can stay overnight, or maybe a deadline's due in 2 months, so you don't have to work for a big job for a month or so. So I thought that deadlines were really important to keep, and also I thought teamwork was super important because as a designer, you're not going to do everything. You're not going to choose the fabric, or you're going to have helpers, you're going to have a team. So more than being good at your job, it's more like thinking, accepting ideas, and knowing how to work with your team. Also, some specific skills that I kind of thought were important were, the first one are communication skills. Of course, you're working as a team, so communication is always important. You can't really expect the other person to know what you're thinking, or if not, they're going to design the wrong thing for you, or they're going to manufacture it the wrong way. Also, creativity, of course, it's really important in designing. Decision-making skills, you have to know which ideas you're going to accept, which ideas you're going to reject. who you're gonna sell it to, etc. Basic clothing making, which is basically what my major revolves around, so I think I'm pretty set in that skill. Computer skills, and I don't mean, making a PowerPoint, because as you can tell, I'm not really good at making PowerPoints, but it's more like knowing how to use Photoshop or knowing how to use CAD, which is a program that many designers use to design many type of clothing. Artistic ability, and time management. Next, I thought about the education and training. I would need a degree in fashion designing or merchandising, which is what I'm studying right now, so I think I'm pretty set for that. I would need a portfolio, which is basically a folder where you kind of put all of your designs, all of your work and projects, so that when a company's trying to hire you, they're gonna kind of judge you by your portfolio. If it's sloppy, they're gonna think you're sloppy. If it's good, they're gonna think you're good. So, is this working? Yeah. Also, I would really like to go on internships or have the work experience. I actually do have experience with interning in a clothing manufacturing company in Korea, which was called Hanse. But it was really different from what I expected. I just made copy, did a lot of photocopy work. So in that sense, I really didn't like it, and I think that I should spend more time interning in a clothing manufacturing company rather than a kindergarten as I did before. So I think I would really like to do that in the future. And also working conditions. I actually thought about them, but I don't think there's anything hard about their working conditions. Of course, I'm going to have to spend a lot of nights working and designing, do a lot of all-nighters, but if it's something that you really like, it shouldn't be that hard for me. Okay. And there are no health conditions that concern me, so. Next, the occupational outlook. This is the chart for jobs in the United States, and the reason I chose the United States was because I am fluent in Spanish and English, and my least fluent language is Korean, so I really don't want to work in a Korean company where I can't really communicate with my coworkers. So I thought, why not choose industry in the United States? But actually, the percentage of industries that are picking fashion designers will decrease. It's expected to decrease by 3%. And the reason is because most of the jobs are done internationally. So like my father, he's working for a clothing manufacturing company in Guatemala. Just like that, they're using a lot of third world countries to finish their jobs because of the low wages. So that kind of concerns me, but